Hey there, welcome to Craft Central Designs. For today's tutorial, I have for you this very colorful, very pretty mermaid theme wreath containing a tin sign stating "Make Waves," which can be interpreted in so many positive ways. And this wreath is also, as well, perfect for any lover of mermaids, regardless of age. Welcome to all visiting my channel today, and I hope you will consider giving this video a thumbs up and hit that notification bell so you will be notified each and every time I upload a video, of which I do 2 to 3 times a week. And as well, leave me your comments. I love receiving them. Okay, let me share with you how I created this very pretty wreath. I have here the tin sign that says "Make Waves" with a very cute mermaid. I purchased this on Temu, and I've mentioned before that I discovered Temu, and in that I discovered that they had a lot of really cute signs for a very low cost. So you may want to check that out if you are a wreath maker who enjoys a lot of really fun and cute signs. I have there a 12-inch round wire wreath frame that I purchased at Hobby Lobby. I have here some 6-inch wide deco mesh, all of which was purchased at Hobby Lobby. I always purchase my deco mesh at Hobby Lobby on the week that it's 40% off, which is every other week. I have a white roll, an orchid roll, and a blue roll, which is a very pretty blue. It's kind of a sky blue. And this is a very sturdy deco mesh with minimal fraying. Now, you could use a Dollar Tree deco mesh. That's up to you. But you may need more than just 3 rolls. I do have a little bit of deco mesh left over on each of my rolls of my Hobby Lobby deco mesh. But with Dollar Tree, you have to purchase a little bit more because it's thin. It's a thinner mesh. I did purchase this snowball tulle at the Dollar Tree. Now is the time to pick that up in the patriotic decor season. That's when Hobby Lobby has that white snowball tulle. I also have an aqua color snowball tulle there. And as well, I had that netted ribbon, which I also picked up at the Dollar Tree. I have here this absolutely gorgeous ribbon. This is a craftoutlet.com ribbon. And I think it's one of the prettiest ribbons I've ever purchased. I used it as well on a mermaid wreath that I made last year, as well as this ribbon. I don't end up using this, but it's really so beautiful and matches so pretty. For the piece, that you could use this in place of the other, the mermaid scallop gold design on that other ribbon. And then I have another one here. I was just, preparing myself for anything that I might want. Now, I see by the name on that ribbon that I'm certain came from Amazon, because that brand is carried on Amazon, in which I can't even pronounce it, but it's like, not really sure. I'm not sure how to pronounce that. I wouldn't even want to try. But they have that on Amazon. I used that as well on a mermaid wreath that I did last year. I have here some pipe cleaners, scissors. Of course, I always have my hot glue gun ready. And I'm using the larger clamps that you get at the Dollar Tree. You can also use chip clips. Those work really great. And I have here some little iridescent kind of aqua color beads. And I know that I had purchased these at the Dollar Tree. And to me, I thought they would look just like bubbles. And so I decided to use that on this wreath. to look or to appear like bubbles on this mermaid wreath. Okay, so we are going to be cutting our deco mesh in 14-inch length pieces. And I'm going to be creating 22 bundles on this wreath. Now, with each bundle, I'm going to either be adding a white snowball tulle like that. Oh, so pretty, those bundles. Or I'm going to be adding the Aqua snowball tulle, or I'm going to be adding that netted ribbon. So I'll explain more about that here in just a moment. I'm just going to be doing simple scrunches. So I'm going to just take my fingers and crawl up that deco mesh with my fingertips and scrunch that mesh. Very, very easy to do. My tip is to just make sure you're going right up the center of the deco mesh so your mesh is even on both sides from the middle. So I'm going to be creating 11 bundles with white and orchid and 11 bundles with blue and white. But I'm going to be adding one of those other elements, either of the snowball tools or the netted ribbon, on the top of each of those bundles. And I'm just going to distribute that evenly on my wreath. So as you go along, just be mindful to include that tool. And I like to place my tool on top of the color, the colored tool. If I'm placing the white, and if I'm placing the aqua, I like to place that on a white tool. In plain words, what I'm trying to say here is I want whatever it is, whether it's the netted ribbon or whether it's the tool, to show up well on top of the bundle. Now these elements here, the tool or the netted ribbon is always going to be on top. So I'm going to scrunch up my bundles, 11 bundles of each color. Each bundle gets white. I like to make sure it's nice and even on both sides, and then I clip that. The bigger clips work better for this because you're placing 3 materials in one bundle. So I crawl up the mesh with my fingertips. Now I'm going to place that with the blue. And then I'm going to take the Aqua snowball tool. In this case, I'm going to take this one because it's colored and I want to place it on the white deco mesh. Now this isn't imperative. Probably you won't be able to tell so much when it's actually on the wreath, but I wanted to be sure that the tool showed up very well on top of the bundle, and you don't want your snowball tool to be on the bottom of the bundle. You want it on the top. So you can see I placed it on top of the white so it would show up. In this case, I placed the white snowball tool on top of the orchid so it would show up, if that all makes sense. And here, in this case, I put that netted ribbon on top of the blue, and then I put the white on the bottom. So you're basically stacking your tool, and then the very last piece that you stack is either the snowball tool or the netted ribbon. And I'm showing you this one more time. 14 inches. Oh, I'm sorry. The netted ribbon. I used 6-inch pieces of this netted ribbon. This is the one from the Dollar Tree. I love this for any coastal or mermaid wreath. And I used 2 pieces at 6 inches. I'm going to go ahead and create a bundle, and then I'll show you how I place that netted, I'm just calling it netted ribbon. So my white's going to be on the bottom. I'm going to scrunch up my blue. And as I mentioned, this deco mesh has minimal fraying. So I put the blue on top of the white. And now I'm going to take those 2 pieces of netted ribbon, place it right on top, take a half a pipe cleaner, wrap it around, and twist it in the back. I used half a pipe cleaner on all of my mesh bundles. Again, 22, 11 with blue, 11 with orchid. And on the wreath frame, you're just going to alternate the blue and the orchid, the blue and the orchid, and so on. But see how pretty that is. Just really beautiful on any mermaid wreath or a coastal wreath, that netted ribbon. Okay, so on my 12-inch wreath frame, I'm going to be placing my bundles. I'm going to use the second wire from the outside and the third, and I'm just going to alternate back and forth. I place my bundle on the wire, pull it really tight so it's nice and snug sitting on that wire, and then twist it 2 to 3 times in the back, and go ahead and load up that wreath frame. Now see how I'm placing my colors. I have an orchid bundle, and then I place a blue bundle. Now we're mixing up, remember, the tulle and the netted ribbon. So you're going to want to watch your wreath as you place your bundles. Now see how I'm now using that netted ribbon? So I'm adding in all of my elements and alternating it so that it's all distributed evenly throughout. Now what I do when I'm creating a wreath like this is I don't wait until I have all of my bundles made to start applying the bundles. When I have a wreath with a lot of going on like this, with the different tools and the netted ribbon and the different colors, I start placing my bundles on, and that's how I keep track of distributing everything evenly. It makes it much easier if you do it that way, rather than to create all of the bundles at once and then hope you got it right. All right, so this very cute sign is going to be going in the middle of that beautiful bed of deco mesh. Oh my goodness, it turned out so, so pretty. So I'm going to embellish this sign just a little bit. No surprise there. I'm always embellishing something, aren't I? Okay, so I had purchased these pearls. They are actually half pearls, and this container came with many different sizes of half pearls, all the way down to half pearls that are like the size of a head of a straight pin. I mean, so tiny. I purchased these last year, again, when I made my other mermaid wreath. It's in my playlist if you'd like to see it. So I have some craft tweezers there. I find they're very helpful to use when doing something like this. So I take a little bit of Aleene's Tacky Glue and I put it in a bowl, and I have my craft tweezers. And what I'm going to be doing is picking up the little tiny pearls with my tweezers, and then I just basically dip the bottom of the pearl. I just dab it into the tacky glue. Now, then I place it on the mermaid. I'm placing those pearls at different places on the mermaid. That's up to you. You do you. However you want to decorate that, but I placed some toward the top of the mermaid and down the leg and across the fin. And I placed different sizes. So after I dip it in the tacky glue, I just rest it down on the sign. Now, if you have a glue dispenser that has a very fine point, you can use that and then just put a dot right directly on the sign, and then take your tweezers and drop your half pearl on the dot of glue. You could do it that way as well. If you take your tweezers like I do right there, occasionally you might have to wipe off the end of your tweezers just to be sure you're not accumulating glue. And again, this is all up to you where you want to place your little pearls. You could also use some little tiny colored gems if you wanted to do that. I also placed a half pearl in the center of the flower on my mermaid's head. I mean, you could be creative with this. You do you. Use whatever you'd like to kind of dress up the sign. Now, I'm not going to be placing a bow directly on this wreath. I'm going to do an application of a bow in a different way with this wreath. I'm going to be using it on the hanger. Now, I'm going to create a small bow. I want to say my loops are around 8 inches. I'm going to create it in the same fashion that I always do. I fold over my loops, pinch it in the center, use my fingers to hold the loops there, secure in the center. Now, this ribbon is exquisite and just so beautiful for picking up all the colors in that wreath. It has the orchids and the blues and the aqua. Oh, so pretty. Okay, so I have 2 loops on one side. I'm going to create 4 loops. Fold it over, pinch it in the center. All of my loops should be symmetrical, of the same length. I just eyeball my loops to create my bows. You can measure yours if you like with a ruler. Now I'm going to take a pipe cleaner and wrap it around the center and secure all of those 4 loops together in the center. I'm shaping my loops a little bit, fanning them out, making room for a center loop that I'm going to be placing right down the center of that bow. I'm going to simply roll that center loop under and catch it with my thumb underneath, scrunch it up in there, and it's as simple as that to create one center loop. If you would like to see bow tutorials, I have multiple ones in my playlist. I'm also getting ready to do another bow tutorial, a very basic one that I'm going to do very slow and very methodical, step by step, and really break it down. I'm determined that my subscribers and all visiting my channel are going to learn how to make a beautiful bow. It's my mission. You can use an easy bow maker, but oh my goodness, these bows are so pretty, and I get so many comments on the bows that I make. And I would love it if I could inspire you to realize the joy of making these beautiful bows. And there's so much versatility in the way that you can create them. Okay, so we have a 4-loop bow with one single loop going right down the center. Now, as I mentioned, this is going to be a part of the hanger. And I'll show you how we're going to do that. here shortly. Now I'm going to be cutting a piece of that ribbon, and this is going to be what I'm going to attach to the wreath as a hanger. I cut a piece around 16 inches. Now I'm going to be folding that ribbon in half. I'm showing you there. It's around 16 inches. And I'm going to be folding that ribbon in half, as I said. And I'm going to be creating a hanger. Now I'm going to fold my ribbon in half to find the center point. Then when I've found it, I'm going to scrunch it up in the center. I'm going to take a long, full-size pipe cleaner, fold it in half, create a loop, and I crisscrossed it right there in the center, right over that area where we gathered the ribbon. Now watch what I do. I'm going to take the ends of my pipe cleaner, wrap it around the ribbon, bring it back to the center. Then I'll take the other tail, wrap it around, bring it back to the center. Do you see how I did that? Then for added support, I'm going to twist my pipe cleaner there. And now I have a loop to hang my wreath. This was so easy to do. Now what I'm going to be doing is attaching that bow right to that loop. Now this bow will easily be secured to that loop by simply wrapping the pipe cleaners on the back of the bow around that area where I have the loop. Now at this point, I'm going to bring my wreath end back to my craft table, and I'm going to secure that ribbon to that wreath frame. So what I'm going to do is just slide the tails of that ribbon there that I cut in the 16-inch length. Slide it under the wreath wire and bring it around, and you're just going to glue the ribbon onto itself once you've wrapped it around that wreath wire. Do you see how I wrapped it around? Now I'll do the other one. Slide it under the wreath wire, fold it over, and then glue that onto itself. With hot glue, of course. Now we're also going to do one more little thing just to be sure that's really secure. Now I left about a 6-inch space in between each of the tails of that ribbon on the hanger, or on the wreath frame, I'm sorry. Now this is going to serve very nicely to hold that wreath. And of course, going to embellish it with that beautiful bow that we just made. And I'm going to take a half a pipe cleaner and also just wrap it around the ribbon there on the wreath frame, and just give it a twist. That's just an extra means of holding that ribbon onto that wreath wire. Very easy to do. I just take, you see my pipe cleaner, poke it through under the wire, wrap it around the ribbon, and give it a couple of twists. I mean, this wreath is extremely lightweight. It doesn't really need a lot of extra security, but I just added the pipe cleaners on just as an extra measure. And now we have our hanger attached, and we do need to go around the back of that wreath and clean up that hot mess of pipe cleaners there. So I do take my wire cutters and go around and snip off all of the extra pipe cleaner ends, and then I just poke them back down inside of the wreath to keep the pipe cleaners from scratching the surface wherever this wreath is going to be hanging. So I went around the whole entire wreath on the back, cleaned everything up. And now you can see my hanger there. And we're going to attach the bow at this point. Now I have the pipe cleaner tails on the back of there. And I'm just going to simply wrap it around the hanger that I created and twist the pipe cleaners, and that bow is attached. And now, instead of just having a plain, simple hanger, we have a hanger that's beautified with that gorgeous ribbon bow. And we have the loop to hang it by. And there we have it. Very simple to do. Now, if you would like for your bow to be higher above your wreath and your actual ribbon hanger to be longer, just go ahead and cut it longer. Mine was 16 inches, but you could do 18 or 20 if you like your bow a little bit higher over the wreath. And now I have to fluff everything up because I had my wreath upside down. Okay, and now what I'm going to do is take these little beads. They're very pretty. They're like an iridescent color, and I just thought they'd be so pretty on this wreath. And I thought they would look like bubbles. So I went around the wreath. Now you can do one of two ways. You can actually put a little dab. I used Aleene's Tacky Glue for this part, by the way. You could put a little glue on your bead and just pop it on your deco mesh in all the places that you would like for a bubble or a bead to be. Or you can just put a dab of glue right on the deco mesh and then just lay your bead down in the dab of glue. Either or, do it your way, however you like it. But I use tacky glue. Feeling you could use hot glue. Now this wreath, in my case, is not going to be outside. So everything is relative. If your wreath is going to be inside, then no need to worry about, securing everything with tacky glue. Okay, I'm going to go ahead now and prepare the back of the sign. I have a full-size pipe cleaner there, a little piece of felt, and as I mentioned, this wreath is not going to be outside, so I'm not going to add any tacky glue here. And I'm going to as well put another full-size pipe cleaner on the opposite side, apply my glue with a felt piece, and now I have a means to secure my sign in the center of my wreath by attaching it to the adjacent wreath wires. I did wait until I was sure that my pearls were nice and dry on the front of my sign before I did this, by the way. Now I'm going to be taking my sign and pushing it down in that bed of deco mesh. So I went around the wreath and I just pulled back the deco mesh, positioned my sign in there, attached it to the wreath wires, and here you have it. And I think it's just absolutely beautiful. I am in love with this wreath. I hope you love it as well. And if you like this wreath, please give this video a thumbs up. Leave me your comments. Let me know what you think of it. And share this video with a friend or relative. This helps my channel to grow and evolve, and I so appreciate that. Okay, until next time, you all take care.